Welcome back to my channel, guys. Today we'll be making a dish called bitoto, and here is a list of what you need. If you want the list, just pause the video so you can copy that. And if you are new to my channel, please make sure to subscribe. Hit subscribe to CBL Does It All for more videos of a couple of days. You can also follow me on Instagram under CBLDIA for CBL Does It All. I am also on Facebook if you want to follow me under CBLDIA. Let me introduce you to what we need. We need makemba. Makemba is plantain in Lingala, one of our national language in the Congo. So we need makemba. If you have plural, it's makemba. If you have one, it's likemba. We need makemba. I'm going to be using some pork tip ribs, but you can use any other meat you would like. We need some fresh tomatoes, onions, garlic, and habanero for heat. If you don't like spicy hot food, you don't have to use the habanero. You can just go ahead and remove that. Some green onions, cilantro, and for our dry ingredient, we'll be using some beef bouillon, black pepper, nutmeg for flavor, salt, and some bay leaves. And also we'll be using olive oil. Let's go ahead and clean our meat. After cleaning your meat, you need to short them off. I am cutting them in a little size pieces, cubical size, but you can cut them as you like. Okay, after cutting off our meat, now we're gonna spice that. Use the black pepper. We're gonna start by black pepper, a little bit of nutmeg, some sea salt, and some beef bouillon. And also I'm gonna press a garlic inside. It's freshly pressed. I love using a garlic press. It makes everything easier. Now we're gonna just mix our dried ingredient with our meat. Make sure it's all mixed well together. And if you feel like you didn't put enough, you can always add some salt and some beef bouillon. And we're gonna let it marinate. Now we're gonna go back to our other ingredient. We just need to do a meal prep. We're gonna chop off our onions first. I am chopping off my onion very thinly. is what we have: cilantro, green onions, garlic, habanero, onions, and some tomatoes. And the meal prep is really important, guys. It's gonna save you a bunch of time when you start cooking. Now we're gonna go ahead and work on our plantain makemba. So cut off the tips of the makemba. Follow the natural lining on the plantain. There is a natural lining. All you need to do, grab your knife, follow that natural lining. Don't go in too deep with your knife. You just need to make a little entry for the knife, and you will remove the skin sideways. It's a little different than peeling off a banana. A banana, you'll be peeling it up and down, but the plantain, you're just peeling them sideways. And you're gonna repeat the same thing for the remaining of your plantain. After you're done with your plantain, what I did, I cut off my makemba in little pieces. And now we're gonna go ahead and then sear our meat. Put the olive oil into a pan. And put your heat in medium heat, and then add your pork. I think the pork is marinated for about 20 minutes, the time for me to finish my meal prep. Okay, after 3 minutes on that side, I'm gonna just flip it over to the other side so you can sear. All we are doing here, we're not cooking them fully. And here's what we're looking for: this brown, beautiful seared meat. There you go. So repeat the same thing with every single piece of your meat. After about 6 minutes, our meat is ready. I'm gonna transfer that to a bigger pot where we'll be cooking the meat. And we're gonna save that pan with the oil. Put the bigger pot back on the stove and then add our ingredients. We're gonna start with by adding some onions, our chopped off onions, and we're gonna add some green onions as well, and some cilantro, some habanero, and also I added the bay leaves already. And there you go. Add water. I added about 6 cups of water. You need to make sure that your meats are submerged into the water because they really need to cook. And we'll be cooking for about an hour because remember, guys, we used pork. Okay, it looks like it's been an hour, and just checked my meat to make sure it's cooked perfectly. And there you go. It's still boiling. And now I'm gonna go back using the same pan I used to sear my meat. I'm gonna caramelize my onions. And I didn't add any oil, the same oil I used when I was searing the meats. That's the same oil we'll be using. After keep stirring your pot. It will take about 4 minutes for the onions to be caramelized and tender. After the onions are all caramelized and tender, make sure they are really tender before you can add anything. We are going to add the freshly cut tomatoes. And there you go, just add the tomatoes. And guys, we'll let this tomato cook in its own juice because we know when a tomato is fresh, it contains a lot of juice. So let that cook in its own juice. Don't add anything yet. We're trying to create a tomato sauce. So we're gonna let it cook about 7 minutes. Keep stirring your tomatoes. And when you see your tomatoes are getting tender, all you need to do it is just grab your cooking spoon, start crushing them with the back of your spoon. And I'm using a wooden spoon. I'm gonna let it cook with its own juice. We're gonna add a little bit of water to help the tomato cook more. I'm gonna add some beef bouillon and the rest of the habanero. Add a little bit of water, and look, our tomato sauce is forming perfectly, and it smells so good. And there you go, guys. We have our tomato sauce. Look how good it looks. You can eat that just the way it is. It looks so good. And we're gonna go back to our meat. It's been over an hour since the meat has been cooking, but you just need an hour to cook it. And what we will do, we will incorporate everything else so we can finish the dish. We're gonna start by adding the tomato sauce we just made. Oh, it looks so delicious. You can see some part of the tomato cubes. And stir your pot. Make sure the tomato and the meat is really all in together, and then you're gonna add your plantain. Add all of your makemba at once. Make sure to put the meat on the top and the makemba on the bottom so the makemba can cook, because remember, the meat is already cooked, so now we just need to cook the makemba. It takes about 20 minutes to cook it, and then I'm adding some garlic as well, the remaining of the garlic. It takes about 20 minutes to cook the makemba. Since we have used the yellow plantains, the yellow plantains are kind of not hard to cook. It takes 20 minutes maximum to cook them. And remember, the meat was already cooked and ready to go. After 20 minutes, you're gonna just stir your pot and look at the makemba. They even look more yellowish than when we put them first. And taste. Looks like I need a little bit of salt. Let me add a little bit of salt. Just a little bit, a dash, a splash. For me, a splash is like a lot. So add your salt. Make sure to spread the salt evenly into the pot. And here is what we're gonna taste our makemba, just to make sure it's cooked. Grab one makemba, grab a fork. I'm using a fondue stick. if you are able to put in your fork or a fondue stick without any struggle into the makemba, look at that, just stick it into the plantain, and if it goes through the other side, that's it, your makemba is ready to go. This dish looks amazing. It is literally mouth watery. Okay, serving time. I am using 2 deep bowls, but you don't have to use a deep bowl. You can use any other plate you would like to serve your food. I'm just using 2 deep bowls. Make sure to remove any bay leaves. The bay leaves are only for cooking purposes. The bay leaves are not for serving, so make sure to remove the bay leaves when you are serving. And to finish, you can garnish your plate. Add a little bit of freshly cut green onions. It's just for garnish. Remember, guys, when the food looks good, it's gonna give you more appetite to eat that. And then I'm gonna be adding a little bit of cilantro, freshly cut cilantro, for garnish as well. And here is the final product, guys. It looks so good. I do hope you guys have enjoyed watching these videos. Please leave me a comment in the bottom. Ask me any question you have, and if you have any dish in mind you would like me to make, just let me know. I'll be happy to make that for you. A bon appetit, and remember to subscribe to the channel for more video, more African dish. You can subscribe to CBL Does It All, and you can follow me on Facebook under CBLDIA, and also on Instagram under CBLDIA as well. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye.